What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, I just ran across this little article from The Verge. Say what you want about The Verge. But it's about Microsoft. It's about the future of Xbox. It's about all these good things that we are seeing unfold in front of our eyes. Yeah. So, basically, a couple of hours ago, I think this popped off, too. Yeah. I don't know who Jay Peters is, but it's, this is him. Yeah. Anyway. It says Microsoft releases an Xbox full screen experience preview for the MSI Claw. Now, for y'all who don't know, the MSI Claw is basically MSI's version of the Legion Go version of the ROG Xbox Ally X. It's not the Xbox. It's not the MSI Xbox Claw. It's just the MSI Claw. Maybe they'll make an MSI Xbox Claw. Who knows? But at this point, it's not. It's that's what this is. I can't remember what the specs are for this. I know the Legion Go 2 is supposed to be the most powerful handheld. It's also the most expensive. But I think the Claw is up close to that too as well. Anyway, let's read. It says Microsoft's new full screen experience. Reading is fundamental. Don't leave out words. Excuse me. Microsoft's new Xbox full screen experience, FSE, which adds a console-like navigation experience to Windows PC gaming handhelds, is coming to another family of devices, the MSI Claw. As part of the latest Windows 11 Insider Preview build, Microsoft is rolling out support for the Xbox FSE and preview to MSI Claw models today. So, this is kind of a taste of the future, what's happening. Like Phil Spencer said, look at the ROG Ally for, the future of what we're doing. And if you listen to what Mad Booty says, you listen to what Phil Spencer says, you listen to what Sarah Bond says, you listen to specifically Papa Satya Nadella. It's Nadella. I keep listening to Boom. He says Nadala, and it's like, I know it's an accent. I know he says it specifically that way every time, and I'm like, Arr. And also, I forgot who it was. Crispy Bomb, I think, he says it got to me today because I heard him saying, he says this all the time. He says in realism, and I was like, what? I understand what he's saying but I've never heard anybody say in realism. I think that's what he says, because what I would say is in reality, blah 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 blah. But he's like, I think he says in realism. I was like, is that right? I understand what he's saying, so I can't say it's not wrong because it's just about understanding what people say. So, that's fine. But he said it like 3 or 4 times today, like in a span of like 10 seconds. And I was like, And I'm not a grammar aficionado. But yeah. Anyway, reading on. FSE debuted on the Xbox Ally and Xbox Ally X earlier this month, and my colleague Sean Hollister ran into quite a few issues with it and the new handheld. If you're interested in installing the Xbox FSE in your MSI Claw, you might want to wait until some of the problems are ironed out until it's available outside the Windows Insider. Yeah, of course, Insider program. Yeah, that's for any guy. I used to be. I think I might still be. I don't know. I haven't checked, but I was in the Insider program on my Xbox, on my previous Xbox, on my Xbox One X. I don't know if I did it for the series consoles. I just didn't really check. But it's cool because you get the latest updates first. Like if they change the dashboard, you get it early. Now I wasn't in the early alpha or whatever I was in the just before they release it, beta or whatever. And so I was like, I get it kind of early, but not the earliest. And it's fine because if you get the early stuff, you might get some bugs and crashes and stuff. So, it's always a risk with that type of stuff. But yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, to turn on your Xbox FSE on supported devices, go to settings, blah, 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 select, blah, 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 do, blah, blah, blah. In today's post, Microsoft said that additional OEMs will be enabling their handhelds to use the Xbox FSE in the coming months. And we already know that Lenovo Legion Go 2 is set to get it next year. I mean, that's a quick little thing. But like I was saying, this is part of the future, right? So any handheld basically that has Windows 11 on it, Microsoft can go to that manufacturer and say, "Yo, you want the FSE? You want the FSE?" That's how you say it, right? FSE? FSE. That's what the Xbox FSE. It sounds a little dirty, but I'm gonna say it, and that's what y'all gonna hear it, and y'all gonna be like, "I can't believe he keeps saying that." Just like Crispy Bomb and and realism, FSE. So the Xbox FSE is something that's going to be, well, they're trying to make it a ubiquitous OS, if you will. And I think the key for their success is for them to kind of optimize that UI. Right now, it was just born. It's fresh. It's like, and the baby is crying because it's cold in the operating room when the baby come out, and it's bright light because she used to in the darkness and it's warm and yummy, and then you come out and it's like, it's cold and it's bright and harsh and it's not yummy. That's why I'm crying. That's what's happening with the Xbox FSE. Okay, so as they improve the Xbox FSE, it will obviously get better. And my thing is, so there will be probably, I would say two, you know what? I don't know. There might just be one version, or I would say two versions, like the console version where you're on a big TV. I guess the icons can be smaller, and there would be some graphical adjustments because of the difference in pixel density, so you can see more and stuff. So I think that might be the only difference. But as far as functionality and how it works, I will hope that they can be exactly the same, because basically you would be on your Xbox on a controller going through the Xbox FSE. And so don't change it, because once you start to delineate, then you're like, no, I don't, what's going on? If you make it all the same and the experience is the same on each of these different devices, you at home, you busting it out, you on the Xbox FSE on your console, and then you grab your Xbox ROG Ally X22S and you jump, and then it's the same exact experience, UI and all. That's what's up. That's what people want. They don't want to have to learn 2 or 3 different, visual languages in order to play games. They just want to play games. And if it's all the same and it's all familiar, then there you go. And they know this. I'm not like making some, crazy revelatory, statement. They know this. Everything that I say out of my mouth forever, they already know, because they have way smarter people working at Microsoft than I am collectively. So this is like with the ROG Xbox Ally and Ally X, with this new preview, and with the Lenovo Go, those are all steps towards what the home console will be, or towards what their first party handheld will be. Now, I was watching Brad Sams and a whole bunch of people. Everybody's talking about Xbox. You notice nobody's talking about Ghost of Yote. Nobody's talking about PlayStation. I mean, in the context of, PlayStation is not going to be as powerful as the next Xbox. The PlayStation 6 won't be as powerful as the next Xbox. That's all they say. They're not saying, oh man, it's kind of cool that the technology is going to be insane. No, they're not saying that. They're not saying like, oh man, remember when Mark Cerny said that stuff about the PlayStation 6? It was so cool. No one is saying that. Nobody. Everybody's talking about the Xbox. Everybody's talking about, oh my gosh, oh, Halo. See, I don't know if they realize, but what's happening right now is Xbox, Microsoft, Xbox, the Xbox FSE, Halo, Master Chief, Forza Horizon, all these things that are Xbox are crowding the news cycle zeitgeist. And there's no room for a little blip of whatever PlayStation is doing, because no one cares, especially the PlayStation content creators. They're not helping because all they're doing is talk about Xbox, Xbox, Xbox. Now, some believe that any publicity is good publicity, whether it's negative or positive, right? If your brand is in the zeitgeist, whether it's negative or positive, it's still good because at least people are talking about your brand. And in this case, it's entangled in the remnants of the old console war, I'll call it that. And that's why. So you have guys like me, Dirt, and the WBG crew, Boom, all us Xbox guys are trying to deflect the arrows of these idiots online when they're spewing lies and they're doing. And the thing, I don't want to say it like that because Reforged says that stuff. He says, "Why are you lying?" Well, yeah. He always says that. And then Panda Boy, what's his name? X Vault. He says the same thing. Lies and you guys are lying. You're so. I hate him. And so I'm like, I don't want to say that, but they literally lied about these. Walmart and Target not carrying Xboxes anymore. I'm like, really? This is what you guys have nothing to talk about over. You have a game that just came out. Talk about the game that just came out for your console, and they're not talking about it. And I'm like, how is this helping your cause? How is this helping the blue side? How? As far as I understand it, Ghost of Yotei has sold, what is it, 2.4 million, I think. And look, with the numbers that Sony is saying, right? And here's the thing I have a problem with. Destin did a video and he said, I'm going to talk about the numbers versus, the PlayStation 4 numbers versus the PlayStation 5 numbers sold and then versus the Xbox and blah, 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 right? He said, but I got these numbers straight from Sony. And I'm like, okay. But he didn't distinguish whether it was sold in or sold through. And that is very important. And the only other person on the internet that I've heard, maybe some people on Boom's channel, but King is the only one who is adamantly, consistently saying it's not sold through. And I keep saying it too. It's not sold through. You giving us manufacturer numbers. They made these. They sold them to Walmart and Best Buy and all this. And that's the number that you're giving. They're not giving us the actual number. And so their inflated number makes their attach rate look worse because if you only sold 2.4 million and you have 87 million, that's horrible. If you want to do the percentage, it's like blah blah blah. Oh yeah, we want to get 10%. Well, is that 10%? That's not 10%, obviously. It's not even close. But whatever. But I mean, that's like the thing, right? So it's like they're giving us these fake numbers for lack of a better term that doesn't represent the reality of their situation, the reality of the fan base. And so they're just giving us corporate numbers. Hey, here's the numbers. We made these many consoles. So it's like they've done this consistently throughout the years. They've done it for the PlayStation 3 because they kept manufacturing PlayStation 3s after Xbox said, yeah, we on to the next one. They stopped making 360s and they're on to the next one. And PlayStation kept making PlayStation 3s in order to catch up to the number that Xbox already sold. This is how Sony works. And people don't talk about it. They're like, oh no, Sony won eventually at the end. Like, yeah, they kept selling it 2 or 3 years into the next generation. And like, that's not a bad thing, but that is not how it usually worked back in the day. It was like, once the gen is done, and it wasn't like a super hard cutoff. But like, I mean, there's exceptions, because like Sega is still selling, I think they're still selling like Mega Drives in Brazil, but that's because they licensed out their tech to what was it called, Techland, Tech Toy or something. I forgot what the company's called, but they make all the Genesis and Sega stuff in Brazil, and so that's why that stuff kept going, because that company kept making them. But anyway, a little bit of a tangent, but you know, look, the future is cool. I am surprisingly optimistic about their next console. And I think it was DBH, the Black Hokage. And I was watching his stream today, pre-recorded, because I can never catch him live. But anyway, he was clipped out, and he was talking about the what was he talking about? He's about the news, the new Xbox and what it is, and how it's a PC and it's a console and it's all this stuff, right? And he was like, and this is why I feel optimistic. And he said, yo, Sarah, hire me. And he gave his idea, right? And so his idea was charge like $500-$600 for the next Xbox, right? You know, take a loss on it, but posit it as, well, yeah, you could play Xbox games. It's the video game system. And then mama and papa of this child, it's a computer too. And the kid could do the homework. They can do some, I don't know, some Premiere, some whatever, editing, video stuff, whatever they need to do. As far as school, it's a computer and video game console together. So if you take the prices separately, you say, okay, I'm going to buy you a console and you need a computer for school. It's going to cost more than $500-$600. It probably costs more than $1,200. I don't think it's going to cost that much. I remember saying initially that it would cost $12, but I changed my tune because I wasn't thinking about the lack of a battery, the lack of speakers, the lack of a screen. Those things do cost money. And so with the lack of those things, like even if you take the ROG Xbox Ally X, right, as it is today, take the screen, take the speakers out, and take the battery out, and make a console out of that, it would be cheaper than $999, because you're literally taking out components. And it would perform the same. It's have the same NPU. It would have, I think it has 24 gigs of RAM in it, right? So, I mean, you could construct it differently, obviously, and put a little design in it to have more efficient cooling and such, and make it a little bit bigger, or however you want to do. But the cost doesn't like skyrocket because it's a home console versus a handheld. I mean, the handheld is more expensive because it has more components in it. So me putting that into my brain, saying, oh yeah, wait a second, that makes sense. So the home console should cost less. And if you look at the home consoles now, they're not $1,000. Not yet. The most expensive Xbox is $650. The most expensive PlayStation is $750. And actually, if you take out the disk drive, which I believe is going to be normal, I don't think the next gen console is going to have disk drives included, like the PisaTech 5 Potato. So then you could take that cost out as well. So let's just say, I don't know, $50. I don't even think it's $50. So maybe it's like $15 or whatever. So even with that, you could say, okay, the next Xbox, maybe it's $799, maybe, And if you think like, okay, how I do it, like the automatic dummy math, I say, okay, what's the most expensive Xbox right now? It's $650. Okay, and that's with 2 terabytes and a disk drive. So if we take out take out a terabyte, what does that make it? $599. And you take out the disk drive, what does that make it? $550, right? That's what it is, right? I don't even remember what the diskless Series X is. I liked all these things. It's very cool stuff happening here with these handhelds and these new devices, and the future for them going into the consoles, the full-fledged console, is very bright, and I'm looking forward to it. It's something I am definitely looking at, and if the price is right, like Black Hokage said, like if it's like $5.99 or something like that, $5.99, and you can convince your parents to get it because it's a computer too. He compared it to how the PlayStation 2 was a video game console and a DVD player, and everybody was trying to get a DVD player, and it was the cheapest DVD player out, and so the kids were like, yo, it's a console and you can play the movies and blah, 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 blah. And so that's why it sold so much. That's always like the most successful PlayStation console ever, because of that fact. And this video game plus PC combo, if you will, I'm not gonna say hybrid because that's it's kind of fake. It's not really hybrid. It's both. Which, I mean, technically, who said it? I'm trying to think. It was somebody who said, I think it might have been Brad Sams, who was talking about how Xboxes and consoles. No. It was Black Hokage. He said basically consoles have always been computers. They've just been bespoke, hindered computers who only do one thing, and that was play games. And I've been trying to say that. He distilled it down real quick and easy because he's probably a little more eloquent with the words than I am. But that's what it is. Consoles have always been PCs. They've just been bespoke PCs to play games. And then when Satya said PCs and consoles, people think of them as two different things, but the reason why consoles exist, we made the console, the first Xbox, to make a better PC, to make games better on PC by making a bespoke console from the PC. And so these dog unicorns and these ponies don't understand that we've always been gaming on PCs. They have been hampered. They've been limited in what they could do. They could only play video games. They are all computers. And that's as soon as the mass populace understand this, I think we all do, but like the Donkey Unicorns and the Ponies, as soon as they understand this, then we can get past this, it's not an Xbox, blah, 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 because we're going to say the same thing. That's not a PlayStation. It's got other OS in it. It's not a PlayStation. What are you, folding at home? That's not a PlayStation. You see what I'm saying? So then once we get past that, all the semantics of those idiotic arguments, then we can talk about the games. And Sony loses. PlayStation loses because they ain't got no games. PlayStation ain't got no games. Play, they ain't got no game. I'm sorry. I'm going to start doing some music now because Tony the Pony and freaking Kid Smooth did a horrible abomination of a song the other day. It was so bad. And some people are like, yeah, it's funny, but I know no one is saying that's a dope song. I like that song. The melody is hot. No. At least use auto-tune to fix your notes, Kid Smooth. But you know what you can't fix is your rhythm. You are not on beat, and whoever mixed it or whoever lined up Tony the Pony's verse, it was off too. I'm like, look, I do music, so certain things like when I'm spitting bars, I usually try to trail a little bit behind because it gives that type of flavor. It gives it a groove. What you don't want to do is be ahead of the beat. That means you don't know where the beat is and you just trying to and it sounds so, and listen to it again if you haven't listened to it already. You see how he's not on the beat. And it's like, if he was behind a little bit, it would have been all right. You'd be like, okay, that's cool. It's all right. But, and he doesn't have his voice, the flow, it's just, nah, son. I might have to shout out, give the call out to the Lords, because I know that they're in the music industry like that, or were anyway. So I know they got skills. But anyway, I appreciate y'all hanging out, y'all listening, man. Like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this Xbox FSE kind of branching out to other handhelds and potentially, whatchamacallit, under the TV hardware, the main console stuff. I'm kind of looking forward to that. And also the first party hardware as far as handhelds from Xbox, I'm looking forward to that too. See what's up with that. So there's a lot of things to look forward to, and plus we got all these games coming. Come on, next year's gonna be Fable, Forza Horizon in Tokyo, Japan. Come on, son. There's so many good games. There's so many. They got no games. I'm sorry. What game's coming out for PlayStation next year? It's like one game a year, so it's like, okay, we got Ghost of Yotei this year. So what's next year? Is it the Heretic Prophet? Is Intergalactic coming? Or what? I can't think of. I know there's more than just that, but that's all that pops in my. We don't count the show because that's like a yearly thing, right? So yeah, that doesn't count. Horizon MMO, right? Or multi. What there's 0 games. Oh, Wolverine. There you go. Wolverine. That's right. Wolverine. You know what? I think there's a little bit of superhero fatigue. I mean, there was superhero fatigue with the movies. That's why the movies kind of trailed off a little bit. Not so much. But for the games, especially since Insomniac is doing all the games, then you have no variation on the actual foundation, if you will. So let's assume that Spider-Man 2018 was built off of Sunset Overdrive. That was their first open world game, so they took that technology that they created for themselves as their own engine, and they built Spider-Man. Then they said, okay, Miles Morales, off the same engine, obviously. Then they said Spider-Man 2, off the same engine, obviously. And now they're doing Venom, I don't know, and Wolverine, off the same engine. Not saying that because it's the same engine it's going to be similar. I'm saying it's going to be similar because it's the same studio making a similar type of game, superhero game, in the same engine. So they know the parameters in which they can make Wolverine, make Logan, John something. I forgot his last name. And I don't know. It looked okay from what I saw, but I'm like, sure, we'll see. I don't know. Whatever. It'll be good. Let's just say that. But how good? Anyway, I'm sorry I rambled, but I appreciate. I'll talk to you on the next one. Till the way time.